Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois is here. Today, she visited Naval Station Great Lakes on the outskirts of Chicago, which is reportedly set to be used by ICE agents ahead of the expected ICE crackdown in the city of Chicago. Senator, first tell us what you observed and what you're bracing for in your state.
Well, what we saw this morning was actually cooperation from the Navy. I really appreciated the commander of Great Lakes Naval Base. This is where every single recruit, every single sailor that joins our nation's Navy goes through training there. Then they also do some advanced training there as well. And they showed us the building that ICE is going to be occupying. It is just an office building. Interestingly enough, we also requested a tour and a visit with the ICE leadership that are going to be there and have been there. And they very quickly gave all of their people the day off today after Senator Durbin, Congressman Brad Schneider and I made the request. They gave them the day off, they locked up the building, and they fled out of there. And so we were not able to speak with them. You know, those are the kind of actions that you take when you want to hide something, when you're doing something illegal, and when you're ashamed of what you're doing. And so we were able to speak with the Navy. We were able to establish that they will only be able to use the office spaces, that there will be no barracks made available to ICE, so that there will be no detainment of individuals there, and then that they can only store non-lethal ammunition on the base itself. And so we were able to have a very long 90-minute conversation with the Navy, but DHS and ICE was nowhere to be found. It was crickets around where they were, the building that they're supposed to be occupying.
If they had been there, DHS or ICE personnel, what would you have asked them?
Well, I would have asked them what exactly they're conducting out of the office building, what type of missions. I would have asked them whether or not all the ICE agents would be properly identified or would they be masked. I will ask them what else are they planning on doing, because we are not going to allow them to bring detainees onto Great Lakes Naval Base and detain folks there. I would want to see exactly what type of ammunition that they're going to be using as well, basically to hold them accountable and let them know that we are watching what they're doing. Overall, the city of North Chicago and the surrounding communities have made it clear to their law enforcement officers that they will not cooperate with DHS and ICE unless there is a federal warrant, not one of these fake ICE warrants, but a federal warrant, and that they're not going to participate and support ICE actions in basically harassing and intimidating everyday people on the streets of our cities.
Let me ask you about something that former Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson said today in a New York Times article. He served as Pentagon General Counsel before he was Homeland Security Secretary for President Obama. He noted that Congress had not authorized force against drug cartels and that the Coast Guard and Navy had long interdicted suspected drug smuggling boats. Quote, here the president appears to be invoking his amorphous constitutional authority to kill low-level drug couriers on the high seas with no due process, arrest, or trial. Quote, viewed in isolation, labeling drug cartels as terrorists and invoking the national interest to use the U.S. military to summarily kill low-level drug couriers is pretty extreme. Do you believe it's legal?
No, it's not legal. I also think that this is just the first step towards him potentially setting the groundwork to do something within U.S. territory. So he's doing it in international waters now, but you know, what's next? In American, in our territorial waters on U.S. soil? What exactly is next? I agree with the discussion that's already been ongoing. This president is setting the conditions so that he can actually unilaterally occupy the streets of our cities and interfere in the next election, do what he wants. And I am absolutely disgusted with my Republican colleagues who, on top of confirming the likes of Pete Hegseth and Secretary Kennedy, are not holding them accountable. We have a chance here to stop them. I hope that my colleagues will step forward and stop them, but let's see what they're going to do. So far, all they've done has been collaborators and co-conspirators in the Trump attempts to basically undermine the basic law and order of our nation.
Senator, do you hear from any whistleblowers or people concerned inside the military?
Oh, significantly. I served in the Illinois National Guard for 17 years and in the reserves for another 6 years on top before that. The military does not want to be used in this way. And I do want to say something to the folks who are watching. Please respect the men and women of the National Guard. They are being used as a political pawn by this president. They don't have the option of saying no. And so we need to make sure that we understand that the National Guard is being abused and disused. They should be out there preparing and training for their wartime mission or to respond to natural disasters, and, when a tornado hits southern Illinois. But instead, they're being used to intimidate fellow citizens and people on the streets of our cities. And simply that is an abuse of the National Guard and the men and women who swore an oath to defend this country.
Senator Duckworth, every word of everything you said today, thank you so much for all of it. We really appreciate you.